Welcome to Dreamland Chronicles. I'm your host, Noah. Thank you for choosing to join us. Before we begin, find a comfortable position, set aside all your tasks, and let's enter a state of tranquility together. Firstly, let's take a deep breath together. Inhale slowly, then exhale gently. Repeat a few times, allowing your breath to become deeper and more rhythmic. Now, use your senses to feel every part of your body. From head to toe, notice any tension or discomfort. Just acknowledge their presence without striving to change them. As you continue to breathe deeply, let's alleviate the tension in your body by gradually relaxing your muscles. Starting from the head, moving downward, gently release each muscle. Feel that comfortable, light sensation, as if an invisible, comforting hand is gently embracing you. Shift your attention to your thoughts. Don't strive to eliminate them. Just let them quietly float by, like clouds drifting in the sky. You are merely an observer, unaffected by these thoughts. Let's take another deep breath, absorbing tranquility and peaceful energy. In this moment, you are safe, serene, and anything can wait until tomorrow. Thank you for participating in tonight's scientific relaxation moment. May you have a peaceful night and sweet dreams. Now, as you drift toward sleep, I'll hand the microphone over to Nicole to tell us a story.
Sometimes, while doing something, you suddenly feel like you've done it before. Same scene, same feeling, everything identical. Sometimes, you visit a place for the first time, yet it feels incredibly familiar, as if you've been there before. Sometimes, in a dream, at some point much later, you find that the scene before you is exactly what you dreamed of before. The setting, the characters, everything. Sometimes, you meet someone and you feel a sense of déjà vu. This sensation of experiencing something or a scene you've never encountered before, but feeling like you have, as if you truly experienced it at some point in the past, is what psychologists call the hippocampal effect, also known as instantaneous phenomenon or illusionary memory. It's the result of interaction between our brain systems and perceptual systems. In neuroscience, researchers have found a region in our brain shaped like a seahorse, thus named the hippocampus, also known as the hippocampal gyrus, hippocampal region, or hippocampal formation, located between the brain's thalamus and the inner temporal lobe. It's part of the limbic system, primarily responsible for the storage, conversion, and orientation of long-term memory. It's also a crucial component related to memory operations in our brain. Thus, this illusionary memory phenomenon was discovered and naturally became known as the hippocampal effect. French physiologist Mayo Boirac first defined this phenomenon in his 1867 book, The Future of Psychic Sciences. It's considered a cognitive judgment. Freud believed it occurs because we fantasize about it in our subconscious, hence unable to recall when we experienced it. Regarding memory, most people believe that various psychological states that once existed in our memory, such as sensations, concepts, etc., disappear from our consciousness. However, these states don't completely vanish with our forgetful souls. they somehow continue to exist in our brains, stored in our subconscious. However, psychologists also point out that the hippocampal effect doesn't necessarily occur based on deep-seated subconscious conflicts. It's a common phenomenon in generally healthy brains, and people tend to experience it more when tired or stressed. According to a survey by Scientific American, over 2/3 of the population have experienced déjà vu at least once, with about 1/3 having multiple similar experiences. Currently, the specific reasons behind the hippocampal effect haven't been thoroughly researched or concluded. There are only some related theories and hypotheses. This sense of déjà vu has appeared so frequently that records of it date back to the times of Aristotle and Pythagoras. Aristotle once said, "I suspect I was a shepherd in my past life." Many scholars believe this was simply a peculiar sense of familiarity. However, it wasn't until the early 19th century that this phenomenon was introduced into scientific research by French scholars, and it wasn't widely accepted by researchers until the mid-20th century. In 1896, psychiatrist Arnold First studied the mechanism of this phenomenon. Since then, this instantaneous feeling phenomenon has garnered attention from various disciplines such as philosophy, religious studies, neuroscience, theology, and psychology. In 1904, Freud and his brother traveled to Athens. As they gazed upon the millennia-old Acropolis, a strong sense of unreality washed over him. He experienced that peculiar sense of familiarity, as if he had seen that scene somewhere before. In 1936, he described and analyzed this feeling in his work Disruptions of Memory in Athens, considering it as fantasies infiltrating the conscious realm from the subconscious. Another psychological master, Carl Jung, had similar experiences. Once, during a trip to Africa, he saw a lean black-skinned man leaning on a spear through a train window. Jung said, "At that moment, I felt like this moment had occurred before, and I felt very familiar with this world. It's as if I had returned to my homeland thousands of years ago." Later, in his autobiography, he referred to this feeling as recognition from a distant past. He believed it was evidence of collective human memory, where fragments of ancient memories are passed down through generations, later experienced by individuals as the hippocampal effect. Of course, Freud and Jung were early masters of psychology, pioneers in their own right, but that doesn't mean everything they said was correct. Even great minds are bound by the constraints of their times and selves. Many of Freud's students, for example, abandoned his theories and formed their own schools of thought. With the development of modern science, there's now a more scientific explanation for the hippocampal effect. Nowadays, scientists largely view it as a memory error, though the origins of this error are still debated. Some believe it's related to the hippocampal gyrus because it's the part of the brain responsible for storing long-term memories. Sometimes, it might malfunction, inserting present feelings into long-term memory, mistaking current sensations for past experiences. Others attribute it to the frontal lobe, responsible for decision-making. Scientists have found through MRIs scans that when the hippocampal effect occurs, the frontal lobe is activated, suggesting it might be responsible for errors in memory, retrieval, and recognition. Some think it's a delayed neural response, with the brain processing information through various channels. Delays in these channels can cause disparities between the left and right hemispheres, resulting in a feeling of familiarity. Some researchers believe it's fragments of memory or recurring dreams. Many also consider love at first sight as a type of hippocampal effect. When you see certain familiar traits in someone or qualities you've longed for, they appear in that person. Just like in Dream of the Red Chamber, where Jiabaoyi said upon meeting Lin Daiyu, "I've seen this sister before," from the perspective of the hippocampal effect. This statement doesn't seem far-fetched. In conclusion, the hippocampal effect is a complex phenomenon, and the scientific community hasn't reached a definitive explanation yet. But we believe that one day, scientists will provide a precise conclusion. Here are some hypotheses about what causes the hippocampus effect. Brief memory storage confusion. Our brains have an area for storing memories, divided into many types. When the hippocampus effect occurs, it might be because memories are stored in regions for past memories, leading the brain to mistakenly perceive current information as past recollections. Therefore, it's widely believed in neuroscience that the appearance of the hippocampus effect is due to a brief confusion in memory storage, causing the brain to treat newly acquired information as distant memories. This situation often arises when people feel tired, stressed, or surrounded by unfamiliar things because the brain struggles to process the volume of information it receives. Hemispheric information discrepancy. Some scientists suggest that when processing information, the two hemispheres of the brain work at different speeds. This discrepancy might briefly lead to information gaps, causing a seam from one moment to seem repeated in the next, creating a sense of familiarity. Brain anticipation. It's said that our brains often simulate scenarios hidden within our subconscious. When a similar scene unfolds in reality, our subconscious strengthens that scenario, leading to the hippocampus effect. Memory recall. When a memory is repeatedly brought up in a short period, specific keywords, such as a sentence or a smell, are stored in the hippocampus. When you encounter these keywords later, memories stored in the hippocampus are triggered, activating an automatic recall mode. However, since you can't recall the context, you experience a sense of déjà vu. Subconscious fantasy dream overlap. According to Freud, the hippocampus effect can be explained through mental activity. A familiar feeling experienced by individuals is believed to stem from fantasies buried in the subconscious. For example, a doctor once wrote to Freud about a patient who often felt a sense of familiarity with his surroundings, later realizing they matched forgotten elements of his dreams from the previous night. Parallel spaces in the movie Send You a Red Flower. There's a concept of a parallel universe where everyone lives ordinary, happy lives. If parallel universes exist, the feeling of déjà vu might occur due to an unexpected connection between two different versions of yourself in parallel universes. The scene you witness now may have already happened to the other you in a parallel universe, creating a sense of familiarity At that moment of connection, a theory of parallel universes, though perhaps the least realistic, symbolizes hope and inner peace. It represents the belief in countless mysteries and unknowns in the vast universe. When faced with troubles, imagining another version of ourselves in a parallel universe doing what we can't brings inner satisfaction and happiness. In the end, whether parallel dimensions exist is not as important as the positive outlook they offer. Embracing hope and anticipation can provide a mysterious power to help us navigate through hardships. As we continue to advance and explore, we may uncover the true essence of life. After all, there's still so much we don't know about the world. Our journey of discovery has only just begun.
Now, as we conclude our time together, may the serenity of this moment linger with you through the night. Remember, you hold the power to create your own dreams, filled with wonder and possibility. Rest deeply, knowing that tomorrow holds endless opportunities for growth and joy. Until we meet again, sleep well and embrace the beauty of your own imagination. Good night and sweet dreams.